Hopefully we're live again. I just had to quickly go and do something. I had to pause or I had to cut the other video. Now, that's just my take on BTC. If we do break above this zone, we will continue to move to the upside. That's why it looks as if I've not done anything on BTC. I need BTC to come above this zone and sustain above it. Then I'll be interested in trading BTC more and more to the upside. Yep. So does oil have anything to do? You can see exactly, guys. This is the same thing I'm talking about. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, and it's easy to spot them. That's how you know from, right off the hat. That's how you know whether a pair is tradable. This doesn't make sense at all. So oil is just this is not in any form a bullish or a bearish pattern. So that's why I'm not even going to pay attention to oil. So oil is in a range as well, and we're not doing anything on oil. Simple as that. So that's it. I hope I can be able to see. Oh, I don't know whether I can be able to see these things. Now, yeah, obviously I've started my live stream, so this is going to be how we're going about most of my videos. Let's go over to GBP JPY. GBP JPY is bullish long term, just like our trend line see, and we're still going more and more to the upside. Come over to the weekly time frame. We don't see any chart pattern on the weekly time frame. The market broke above this major zone, came back below it, but it's trying to re-engage again. So we are seeing a waiting period for GBP JPY. Once we break above this zone henceforth, like I'm just going to show you guys. So once we break above this zone like so and stay above it this time around, not like we did here that we broke above it and we went below it. Once we do stay above it like so, then I will continue to trade GBP. So this is it. So I'll just continue to trade GBP JPY to the upside, and that hasn't happened yet, and I'm still waiting on that. So basically that's how I trade the S&P 500. We are very much stretched on the S&P 500. I can remember one of my videos, so we can see that we are actually bullish on S&P 500. I think the last of my videos I did point out a pattern on the daily time frame that showed why the S&P 500 will continue to move to the upside. I told you guys that I understand this pattern. Anytime it forms like this, believe it or not, S&P 500 is going to rally, and it rallied massively. Like after I created that video and showed you guys, S&P 500 has rallied so much since then. I think the chart was somewhere around here when I came here, or even below it. Can't remember. But ever since then, the market has rallied to the upside, like so much to the upside. Now, so take care. I told you guys that we should be expecting trades. You should be expecting trades or retracements somewhere around here to continue to trade them. And that's exactly what S&P 500 has done. If you check, even if we mark this zone right about here, how much it's rallied, more than 6,700, more than 6,700 pips, So that's it on the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is actually bullish and simple. We are just waiting for the break and retest, like I've always told you guys. It's broken. It should come back and retest this zone. Then we take it to the upside. That's how we trade. And that is still about doing that. And I'll just be patient on the S&P 500 for that. The next pair is GBP NZD. GBP NZD on the monthly time frame. So GBP NZD has been bullish anyways with this trend line. This is the bigger trend line, and then this is also the more linear trend line, the one you should pay more attention to because you need to be updated in the chart. So if we go over to the weekly time frame, we will now see that the market began to misbehave again. So after we moved up here, which was a swing high, this is a swing low, then it messed around here for a while, then still went up again. So this is actually a swing high because it was higher than this one, a swing low. Then it now met the previous point and then started to come down again. So now this is a range. because the market broke structure right about here, came back to this level, which was a previous support zone, has come back here and held. So what do we have on GBP/USD? GBP/USD makes it sometimes very difficult to trade it. And that's why I'm very careful. And that's why we have this level here. And then we have this level here. We have this level here, because these levels need to be respected. So I was expecting GBP/USD to stay above this level. So I expected it to stay above this level. Then I'll continue to trade it to the upside. But it didn't stay above this level. Rather, it broke above it and then began to move backwards. So it didn't give me a good trading condition. And the reason why I didn't take it is simple structure. You can't be trading anywhere below here, because this is supposed to be a push, a pullback, and then push again. So that level, which was the last, so there's a level here. This level is there's how I plot my levels. When I identified this level, I knew that GBP/USD would not be the best pair to trade at that point, except we stay above that level. But when the market disrespected that level and still came down below it, I just knew that the range is going to continue. So where will I want to trade GBP/USD? Simple. For now, let GBP/USD come back above this level, hold above that level, then I'll be able to trade GBP/USD to the upside. For a down trade on GBP/USD, simple. This level is still here. This level is still here. If GBP/USD wants me to actually know that it's broken this trend line right about here, then let it come and break this zone and retest it. Then I'll be more comfortable to also trade GBP/USD to the downside as such. Anywhere GBP/USD wants to go for now, I will follow it until we do either of them. I'll not be touching GBP/USD. USD/CHF. USD/CHF was supposed to give us a setup, but it's not doing that. It might eventually do that, but for now it's not. So USD/CHF rather, on the monthly time frame, we are still bearish. Then we came over to the weekly time frame and began to have a range. We ranged for the longest here. We broke above it. We broke below it, came back. We didn't hold to retest it. We went above it and back into the range. Now we are seeming to want to hold below this range. And that's why I'm now interested in USD/CHF. Once we do get a setup for USD/CHF, we will hold. We will trade them. We were waiting for a setup right about here. We went back into this zone and now we came down again. Hopefully we hold above this zone. But you can see now that the market has actually, this is the daily time frame, created or actually broken back. So it broke this level right about here. It has broken back into the range. So I'll be waiting for this market to come back below this level. Then I'll be waiting for my setups to click for USD/CHF. I trade the break and retest. So whenever the market breaks and the retest is not convincing enough, when the retest now goes above or below the zone I'm expecting it to remain at, that's simply trade setup invalidation, and I don't trade it. So I'm still waiting for a setup on USD/CHF. If it gives it to me, fine. If it doesn't, no way. For NZD/USD, NZD/USD is not very clear. It's not a very clear pair. So I'm not going to talk much about NZD/USD. It looks like it wants to follow the pattern of AUD/USD, but it's not a clear pair. And I'm not going to be touching it. No matter the kind of technical analysis input I give to it, I will not stake my money on NZD/USD because it's not clear at this point. There are a lot of touches, so many touches right about this level, and so many violations of market structure. So I won't even want to analyze NZD/USD. CAD JPY is bullish. However, we've not gotten the best of setups to trade this pair. You can see that we have been bullish all this while. And how do I know a pair is bullish? I'm still reiterating again. You have to come to the monthly time frame and see where the market is going. So you can see clearly that we have a trend line on the monthly time frame and the market has been going up. Simple. The market is bullish. CAD JPY is bullish. But on the weekly time frame, if you go there, you will now see more candles to make better analysis. And I had a masterclass where I analyzed the market somewhere around here, that the market was going to go up. If you have not watched that masterclass, I think the link is still available in my bio. You can go there and see. At the point where I analyzed this pair, and I knew that CAD-JPY was going to go up, and it did go up. So that's met this level here, and we're still bullish on CAD-JPY. However, since we've touched this level twice, we are waiting for what the market wants to do at this point. This looks technically like a double top. This looks technically like a double top, but I'll wait and see what CAD-JPY wants to do. We might break above this level, or we might still hold below it. But if we begin to come down, I will know how to engage with this pair. So CAD-JPY is still bullish. However, there are no trade setups for now on CAD-JPY. I mean, for myself, I don't know for you. I only trade my setups. Yeah, there are no setups for now on CAD-JPY. So that's it on CAD-JPY. The last pair we're talking about is ADUSD. Now ADUSD is, we'll come over to monthly time frame. So we had this overall trend line. So this overall arching trend line is still making ADUSD look long-term bearish. However, we are medium-term bullish. We're medium-term bullish because we have this trend line right about here. Now this trend line has been coming up, and then price broke above this major zone. After it broke above this major zone, I expected it to stay. But even if it did stay, I will still be skeptical about taking trades. Hence this yellow ellipse right about here. Anytime, sorry guys, generally, anytime there is an overall trend line close to the point where I want to take a trade, or my execution point, and the trade I'm taking is not in line with what that trend line is doing. So in this case, if I want to take a bullish trend and I'm seeing a bearish trend coming, a major bearish trend line coming, I skip those trades, or I'm very, very cautious about taking those trades, because most oftentimes than not, the market is going to catch up with your trades and take you and make you take a loss that could have been avoided. So ADUSD is bullish, that's medium-term bullish, and I want to take trades to the upside on ADUSD. However, I'm skeptical about this trend line right about here, that is now close to price. So you can see how close the trend line is to price, and we got here very close to it, and we have begun to go down. I'll be more confident if this trend line is taking off, like to be very clear, right about here. If this trend line gets taken off here, so if price comes and breaks this trend line like so and retests it, then I'll be more confident to trade ADUSD to the upside. However, we've not done that, and even if we might do that, even if the market might give me a setup very soon now, I may not take the trade. And if I end up taking the trade, I might just reduce my risk. I'll just have to reduce my risk, because it makes no sense, risking normally for a trade that will most likely whip you out of the market. So that's my take on ADUSD. ADUSD is long-term bearish, medium-term bullish. However, I'll be more confident once we take out this level and this trend line right about here. So that's it on the first episode of Traders Perspective. I'm sorry that the video had to be, partitioned into two, because there was a break in the first one. And I've been able to complete this one, and I intend to go more in depth. Like I said, I intend to go more in depth into psychology as well as chart work, but I won't be doing it here on YouTube. I'll be doing it in my private community. If you go to the link of this video or my bio, you will see the link of my private community. That's where I'll be doing weekly trader calls, weekly breakdowns of the charts, so that we can get to know how to trade this market, not only from a technical standpoint, but also from a mindset standpoint as well. So that's it on the first episode of Traders Perspective, and I am Kojas Pro. I'll see you in my next video.